Whoa!
Whoa.
That's just me returning from an absence.
Yeah. Where were you?
It's been a week.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas.
Shit. I knew that, but I was just asking for the listeners' sake.
Guess how much money I won?
How much?
0. But guess how much money I lost?
0.
$4,000.
No!
I didn't lose any money. I'm kidding. I don't gamble because I've gambled with life. But
Beautiful.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. You know who else gambled with life and I feel like is winning? Is on top?
Who?
Our guest, Liz Miele.
Damn, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
The way you just said it.
I think so. I
appreciate
mean,
that.
for someone that started out at 16, started doing stand-up.
And is now
Like,
19
that's a huge
years old.
gamble. Yes.
She's exactly. Lifer, and that's great. And she's one of the best in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her story's crazy. And we talk about everything from cats to our favorite animated movies as children and adults.
Yeah.
And some crazy fucking story right there.
Yeah.
So,
Listen up.
yeah.
Hear it now.
Hear it now. What shows are you doing this week?
I will be at the Woo Ha Ha Comedy
Ooh.
Club in Worcester, Mass.
Damn.
The 7th through the 9th of November.
Cool.
What about you?
Tonight, I will be at the Arlo Hotel doing a Campfire, which is like a storytelling show.
Great show.
In Manhattan. And then also coming up, buy your tickets to Good God. We got Roy Wood Jr., Emmy Blotnick, Jay and Aton, and a bunch of other hilarious people at the Sultan Room. That's November 19th.
Dude, do it.
I know. It's been selling out like crazy.
Do it.
So enjoy the episode.
Word.
Come see us.
All right.
Meow.
I'm listening to these things like you're telling. Whoa.
Yeah. You'll get that when you listen to the episode. Enjoy.
We just kind of start like this.
Yes.
We don't have an intro. We put an intro in on post.
Yeah.
What if you know what'd be funny?
What?
Is if every episode it starts with me telling the guests like, don't worry, we put an intro in on post.
I will keep it all in.
And just-
I edit everything, and I don't want to do more work than I have to. So.
It is welcome back to 5 Words.
The podcast.
As if you've ever left.
Yeah, I know.
Our guest is an old school comedian like myself, but that makes us sound really old. We're not old at all.
No.
We just go back to we are pre-Instagram comedians.
I would say I'm VHS comedians.
VHS?
Yeah.
Like making a VHS tape to send to a submission?
I remember you would make a tape, and then you would have to give it to somebody who would make copies, and then you would mail your tape to get work.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to make a confession. On that level, I guess
Are
I
you
would...
DVD?
DVD, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did it with DVDs, but I did do it once with a VHS C tape. Remember those?
No.
Those were the little
baby guys?
The little baby guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
That I actually, when I sent that tape to a booker, I just sent the big VHS thing you put it inside of, the adapter.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed, those are like expensive. It was like, those are
Oh,
like,
no.
and I just was like, where? This is my gift to you,
Yeah.
booker, if you book me. And they did, and the show was bad. But, yeah, we go, Liz and I believe, I met you.
When did you guys meet?
I want to say when I first moved to New York, like 2007.
Yeah, that sounds right. I
Yeah.
moved here when 2003, and I started 2002.
From Philly?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah, right outside of Philly. But yeah.
I started 2001. So you moved here. Wait, you started 2002 and then moved here in 2003?
Yeah, so I started when I was 16, graduated high school, went to college here.
Holy
Damn,
shit.
you're
you
one of
started
those
comedy.
youngins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a
You started when
baby.
you were 16?
As a baby. That's why when you say I'm old school, it's like people are going to see me, especially with this hairstyle right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Liz has 2 little
They're
little
like,
pigtails.
is she
ponytails.
Dorian Gray?
That makes me sound pure pedophile calling you old school. Like, this one's old. She's in 33. Jesus. Jesus. I'm not. I just forgot what that phrase meant.
Old school?
Yeah. I mean, when you say old school, people automatically assume it just means. I feel like people assume it means very old, or.
But also,
No,
I mean,
no.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I started in the early 2000s. I mean, all my friends are like, you know what I mean? All my friends have either been doing it like 15, 20 years like I have, or then they're people that were ahead of me.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like to say started comedy back before it was cool. Because it seems like now, like, everybody does it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's always how it is. I think
Yeah.
we're just more aware
Cyclical,
of it because
yeah.
of YouTube and Instagram and stuff. But I always feel like, I did a little like a seminar thing at New York Comedy Club where I was helping people with like social media and stuff.
Oh,
That's
cool.
always been my helpful thing. But like I started to realize that I had the advantage that I pretty much kind of made 2 albums right before people really knew what to do with YouTube and social media, so that I didn't like, so people are like, well, what do you do with your material? How do you get people to follow you? But then you also don't want to burn your material. Like, so they have,
Right.
and then I also want to save it for late night. They had all these questions and I was like, oh, I had 2.5 hours. I built
to
up,
share,
like I
yeah.
got to be invisible for like 10 years before I started putting stuff
Wow,
out.
okay.
So that when I, put my first album out there, it wasn't really, and I'm a writer. That's the other thing is when you're a writer, I'm not really scared to burn material. I'll just write
Yeah, that's what you do.
material.
Is right. Yeah.
So it's like to now be on my 3rd hour during this like Instagram boom of like videos doing well and stuff. I'm kind of like, oh, like all the videos I post are from my first 2 albums, and people are like, is your new hour going to be the same? No, why would I? Why would I do this? No, it's the same topics because I clearly only talk about 3 things, but it's a new take on the same topics.
I mean, hey, look, many people have won Nobel Prizes being experts on less than 3 things.
Oh yeah, I'm an expert on
what are the 3 things?
why cats are the worst.
Love it.
Why I should be in therapy and we should all be in therapy.
Yes.
That's a good take.
Agreed.
And why I'm great to date or awful to date, depending on the time that I'm writing the jokes. I flip-flop. Like, one album's like, I'm sorry to everybody I've dated. The next one is like, I'm pretty great and everybody's stupid. And this one's like, sorry again.
Yeah. Well, it's so it's like you cover the 3
I love that.
the 3 sort of like tranches of humanity, like dating, sex life, mental health, and dogs or cats. Choose one or the other. It's like mustard or ketchup.
And weirdly enough, I'm a cat person that's on the dog people's side. Like, every time I'm like, they're not great. But if you weren't
Yes.
loved as a child, you like other things that don't love you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so you are a cat person. You just are like, fuck cats.
Oh, yeah. I'm literally writing a cat gift book right now called Why Cats Are Assholes. And
I love it.
And the point of the book is it's a loving take on why cats are the worst. So it's like saying what sucks about them, but from a place of love.
I can already picture the cover is a cat's butt.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's like a cat with like samurai swords
Yes.
to like all your stuff.
Yeah.
I have a chapter on like why my cat has peed on everything I love, yet I still own it.
Yeah. A cat like looking through a peephole
Yeah.
into
Oh my
while
God.
you're showering.
Yeah.
Just fucking watching you creepily.
My favorite is so I lived with Carmen Lynn. She's another comic.
Yes.
We lived
Yeah,
together.
Carmen's awesome.
Yeah, we lived together for 4 years, and my cat would literally we would wake up together, and then usually my cat would follow me into the bathroom, and like I would go take a shower or whatever. But like I'm not ashamed to say I've definitely peed with my cat in my lap. She was a very needy cat, and then she would also go through the clear curtain, and she would watch me shower. She would just always, or she would just cry. But there were some days like you're in a rush that I would literally get up, run to the bathroom, and she was too slow, and I have shit to do, and I had 2
Yeah.
roommates.
Yeah.
And I remember Carmen on several accounts would send a picture of my cat waiting outside the door, and she'd be like, "The bathroom line is so long today."
That is like that definitely like none of this sound is surprising.
No.
Like cats are pervy.
They are, and like I had a female cat, but it
Yeah.
did kind of like, as somebody that like doesn't really, I don't really believe in anything, but you also were like, what if she was something before this and she watches me shout? Because like sometimes I'm getting dressed and I look at my cat's just staring and I'm like, it's rude and I raised you better. Like, what are we doing?
That's funny. You find out your
love
cat
that.
in a previous life was just like a peeping Tom.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're gonna come back a cat.
What if she's a lesbian? Because I've always like, she's a lady cat, it's fine. And then now I'm just like, dude, I don't even know you like that. Like,
I mean, I grew up with. You see, this is I don't know. I don't think this is actually that interesting at all. But we'll see. Like I grew up with cats, but they were all feral. They were
so they're
all
outside and they
outdoor,
just-
and they
yeah.
were. It was.
did they ever cuddle with you?
They would hang out with you on the outside.
porch, okay.
Once they got inside, they would become skittish and weird. So my parents just never let them in.
Yeah.
But when you were outside, yeah, they were always like. There were cats that would be like, "Oh, that dude, I haven't seen him in like 3 days," and
Yeah.
he's just there chilling.
That's still how they are. Your
Yeah.
mom puts out like cat food and bowls and stuff
Yeah,
outside on the porch.
tons of gifts being in the form of dead animals and dead rodents.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of dead rodents. My dog people. I was raised a dog person. Like our
Yeah.
dogs like had beds in the houses and their
Yeah.
own rooms. Not really, but
Yeah.
you know, could communicate. My sister speaks dog. It's really weird. Like she can talk to dogs. I swear to God.
Are you
also one of 5?
I'm one of 4.
One of 4. I knew
Yeah.
you had because I met some of your sisters. Yeah, I think there is like a weird, like
You did meet. Wait, when was that? When you met my
when
sisters?
we did the stand, but the stand it was the Rockwell or whatever. Remember one of the Frantics?
Oh,
I think
Rockwood?
it was Rockwood.
Both of my sisters. Oh my God!
Was that this last year?
This last
They were
just
sweethearts.
1 year ago. 1 year ago, like last month, Caitlin was in Edinburgh. You had not come back yet. My
Yeah.
sisters were in town visiting. Yes, and we hung out. Yeah.
And I forgot that you were from a big family because there is something like I'm one of 5. Then my parents are veterinarians, and we had every animal you could possibly imagine.
That's
So we had
amazing.
like a chameleon. My sister had rats. My
Yeah.
brother had a ferret. We've had dogs. We've had cats. We've had mice.
This
we've
is
had
the dream childhood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. yeah. When you start to realize that your parents are like, we should have just had the chameleon, then you start to like they really
Yeah.
were like. I always say like veterinarians became veterinarians because they don't like people.
Right.
And like I just posted a video about.
Wait,
my-
were your parents vets? Is that what you said? You
Yeah,
say that?
they're both
That-
veterinarians.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
I just missed
so
that
they just
entirely.
had.
I'm sorry.
I understand all the pets. I don't understand all the. I mean, they were Catholic, but still, like it was just.
Yeah.
My parents are not people. They're animal people.
Yeah.
And so whenever, like, I just posted a video about an old joke about my mom. Like she has become so desensitized to death because as a veterinarian,
course,
you
yeah.
put cats to sleep. Somebody goes, we don't want it anymore, and you put it to sleep.
Yeah.
So my mom just got to the point where I'd complain about my cat, and she'd be like, "You want me to kill it? We could get you a kitten. Like it would be, you can get a kitten right now. It'd be so much easier." And I'm like, "Mom, that's not the right answer. Like,
Yeah.
you're wrong about that." But like I posted it, and this guy was like, "I'm a veterinarian. We mostly don't like people." And my mom was like, "Yup." Like she was like, "Totally."
That's such a
so
like.
funny.
Have you ever witnessed an animal being put to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
man.
just a straight up like they feed it? Because I know
No,
people
it's
sometimes.
Called, it's called, first of all, it's called pink juice. Like so, it's
Pink
Yeah,
juice?
it's euthanasia.
Right.
And my mom had it in the fridge, and my mom
Whoa!
definitely.
That's so
Definitely
scary.
threatened us. So keep in mind
Oh my
everything.
God.
Everything with animals is about weight. So like I even have a joke about most of my medicine, even now, but especially when I was growing up, says for cats and dogs only. It's the same shit. My parents get it at cost.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fucking
So like
funny.
I had eczema and there was a steroid cream and my dad was like, "I'll just give it to you," but it says for cats and dogs only.
Yeah.
So like I always said my scariest thing is like a dude would come over, open up the medicine cabinet, and I have all this like stuff that says for cats and dogs only, but I don't have a cat right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does that mean? But truthfully,
That's why you have that great joke about when you date, you hate it when guys find it weird when you sniff their butts.
yeah, exactly. Totally. That's like half my material.
Yeah.
And you're just like, just lean into it. Just lean into it.
Just take it.
But so everything is about weight. So I always say, like, whenever like I asked my mom, like I had a rash on my wrist, and I was asking my mom, and I was just like, "Is this where I tell you that I'm like 4 Yorkies or like how like whatever my weight is?" But for euthanasia or pink juice, it's about weight, and we were all like we're very tiny people, so I was just like we could really piss mom off and be dead the next day.
Oh
but
my
like,
God.
Jesus.
but that's something like she would threaten us with pink juice. She's like, I have it in
Pink juice.
I have it in the fridge. But yeah, so basically it's about weight and you put it to sleep.
So like, is it just like, oh, because I know that's a thing people do. Don't you know someone who's done that?
Done
I
with.
feel like I know like
Well,
who's
it's
like had the
usually-
dog put to sleep while they were holding it, or
Yeah, but
I
but
mean-
also it's like we put our cat to sleep. Our cat was almost 20. It sounded like a water bong. It was always a fat cat, and now it looks like Auschwitz skinny. Like I was like, I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I know you can keep Max alive, but this is inhumane. Like
Yeah.
it's truly like you're doing it because money isn't any cost and you can do it.
Right.
But he's miserable.
Yeah.
Like you're truly like my aunt's, so technically my great aunt, her mother is 98, and we went to go visit my aunt, and her mother is like truly like just got out of the hospital, almost died again, and she's very funny, but she goes, "This is 98. Is this what you want?" And you're like, you know what I mean? And you start to be like, why am I taking care of myself? Like,
Yeah.
why do I want to?
That's fucking funny. Yeah.
She was like making jokes because she like literally had trouble walking. She was sitting. My aunt, my uncle, my uncle is like in his 70s. My aunt's in her late 60s, and you think that's old, and then you see 98, and I just think like,
Jeez, yeah.
what? It doesn't seem fun. It doesn't seem like a good time.
No.
No, it doesn't, and it's also like, there is the thing of like it can't last forever. Because the same thing happened. We had strangely enough, Max, a dog, where it was alive. I think it was 16 when they finally put him down. My parents, but it's last year. It was like, guys.
Yeah,
look at it. Look at Max. He's like,
he's in pain.
he can't open one eye. He doesn't know who like there was like a mental thing where you'd let him outside to pee and he'd go under the house and just burrow. Because it was like, he wants
He's in
to
pain.
die.
Yeah, he's in pain. Yeah.
I think with animals, I think that's a thing with animals. That's why part of me, and I'm not like a religious person, or I wouldn't even call myself spiritual, because I also hate that context. I would just say cosmic, maybe. But that makes me sound arrogant. Either way,
Yeah, it makes you sound crazy.
Exactly. Arrogant, crazy. There's a line. But I just feel like, there is something more past death that we just can't understand.
Yeah.
And part of me, animals, you're looking at me like you hate everything I'm saying right now.
No, sorry.
You're just looking at me
face.
like so angry, like, don't you talk about hopeful things. My grandmother escaped Auschwitz. There is no hope. That's Caitlin.
I
Not
sensed it.
Auschwitz, but
Okay, yeah. But the animals give me that sort of idea, because like they seem to just. I mean, I know they're
They seem to
animals,
know.
but they seem to know.
Yeah. Well, first
Like,
of all, they say that
yeah.
animals can sense cancer in other people, and you're just like, so why? I would love to have that. I would love a cat to tell me I have cancer, not like my doctor. They have I feel like cats have the best bedside manner, where they're just like, you're done.
Yeah.
yes.
You're done, and could you feed me before you go? Thanks
Yeah.
so much.
Just one more time. Well, that's the thing too. Like the argument whenever, especially in the past 5 years of social media, there's been a lot of like, and that's what sets us apart from animals. Whenever people are trying to make a point, and sometimes I'm like, why do we continue to think we're better than animals? Though, serious
We're not,
question.
though.
Yeah.
We destroy the planet, we destroy each other, and we're like, by nature, human nature is not evil, but it's not good. Whereas animals, everything is balanced and done for a reason. Like I know like there's jokes about it out there, but animals don't commit rape. Animals don't commit murder. Animals aren't power hungry. They don't possess jealous. I mean, there's jealousy, but it's not the kind of jealousy that drives you to murder an entire family and then yourself and leave a note.
Yeah.
Animals can't write notes.
Yeah.
It's like
They have the
animals,
worst penmanship. I
right.
would know.
Animals have
monkeys.
this like balanced sort of existence, right?
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that when people are like, our ability to use our brains, that's what sets us apart from animals. It's like, well, then we should stop using our brains if you're putting it like that. We should try and be more like animals.
But what if they have the same situation where there's like really intelligent animals, but then there's also dumb ones?
Yeah.
Like I was on my friend has a farm in Lancaster, so they have like every animal you can think of, and everything's so they have 4 outdoor cats. They have a bunch of goats, a bunch of sheep, a bunch of donkeys,
goats.
ducks, chickens,
Caitlin
everything.
does love goats.
Yeah.
Baby goats. My friend has 3 baby goats.
Oh my God.
So truthfully, I have another friend that has a farm upstate, and we always do like a 4th of July party at her place. And she literally texts me, we're on a group chain. She texts me and a bunch of girls, and she goes, "Hey, I didn't tell my husband, but I'm thinking about getting a baby goat. Wish me luck." So she goes, "Hey, can I get a goat?" He goes, "Sure." Then she goes, and there's a sale. And it's cheaper to buy 3 baby goats than 1. And she goes, "I might be getting divorced, but here are these goats." And they're 3 baby goats. And like 2 weeks later, we were going to like hand feed them and stuff like that. And we were like, "We will support you in your divorce." Like the whole bunch of girls. Literally, I was sending her divorce memes and like making
my
T-shirts
God.
because I was like, "Fuck Naven, you're getting baby goats.
Yes.
It will fill the void."
Yeah.
But anyway, my friend has all these cats, and none of the cats get along. So one cat will hiss at the other cat, and I was like, what if one of these cats is like highly intellectual and like is like literally like knows everything, and this other one's just being an idiot?
Yeah.
And so every time they're like,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is it about this cat that is like, I fucking hate Roger. He's the worst. He says the dumbest shit, and I'm done with it. I'm not gonna pretend.
I love a cat
just-
named Roger.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not gonna pretend just because we live in this area together. But I feel like that's pretty much what's happening in the U.S., where like we all live in New York,
Right.
But if you go upstate, God help you if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody. And so it's one of those things where like we technically live in the same space, but as soon as you go this way, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna get gas, get some snacks, talk to no one.
Right.
Like I'm trying not to talk to anyone an hour away from where I live.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
That's very true, because I feel like animals have very specific personalities that really do not mesh sometimes.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge thing. Like, I always had 2 cats that they cycled through over the years and a dog. And my mom is the kind of mom that tries to put the cats on the phone when I call her, which is what I call cat calling. And I don't like it. But
And it's not okay,
yeah.
just like the other cat calling.
Please
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
But she has one older cat and then she got 2 new ones, and she was like, they'll settle down eventually, and they never did. They
Yeah.
just hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have it on a running joke that is, there's cat ladies. Caitlin's mom isn't so much a cat lady as she just is a cat.
Yeah.
A cat
Yes.
that somehow got reincarnated as a human being.
Yeah.
But also that's
and
funny.
she doesn't know how to listen to podcasts, so no one
Yeah.
tell her.
Yeah.
Because she will get offended by that comment, and then it'll
okay.
turn into a big
For a
fight.
second, I was like, what do you mean she doesn't? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also pees all over her stuff. But no.
You know what?
And
I've had
she'll
my own
hiss
accidents.
at you.
We've all had accidents.
It's also
That's
like
true.
the idea, the phrase, I want to know who coined catcalling, because I like to think like there was 2 construction workers and one of them was like aggressively being like, yo, what's up, girl? Yo, hey. And the other guy was a little more sensitive and was like, hey, man, don't be so aggressive. It's like you're barking. Don't bark. So when another girl walked by, the other guy was like, meow. Just started meowing at girls because he heard don't bark and took that literally. He was
Started,
like,
started like
what's up, girl?
kicking the
Meow.
sand and dirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trying to bury his own poop.
And other women were like, have you walked past that construction site where the dude meows at you like a cat?
Yeah.
Like he cat calls?
Kind
And
of
that's
hot. I'm just gonna put it out there. I kind of like it.
there you go.
And that's where it came from. I was thinking you were gonna go with that. One guy had referred to it as pussy calling, and the other guy was like, "No, that's too harsh. Let's reel it back. Reel it back to cat."
I think even in the most harsh fucking hard hat collectives, pussy calling would be like, all right, dude, tone that down a bit.
Yeah. We all have moms.
Tone that down a bit, dude.
Yeah,
Come
My
on.
mom.
No, that's like that. I wonder if there's like horses. There's like a band of horses. What would a group of horses be called?
Herd.
A herd. Thank you. Was that a herd of sheep or goats?
They actually kind of mimic around. Like they all have like.
They all hang out?
Yeah, no, they have similar names.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there's a gaggle of horses, a herd,
Okay.
and they're
Isn't
hanging
that too
out,
far?
and one horse is just communicating in his like, I don't know. I mean, I think my galloping style's too similar to shooting stars over there, and I don't know. And the other horse is like, you're overthinking this. What are you trying to? That's what sets us apart from the humans.
Yeah.
Is we don't overthink shit, man. We just be what we are. Like, oh, you're right. So stupid, but I want us to all be animals.
Yeah. Well, we
I
are.
now definitely want to change my name to Shooting Star.
Shooting
Yeah.
star? Yeah, I'm shooting star. I want to be an owl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Caitlin is a goat.
I am a goat.
What's your animal? Is it a cat?
Probably be like honestly like a leopard.
Nice.
Yeah, because
A
I
cat,
like.
but a fierce cat.
Yeah, like I like to stand out. So I'm gonna have a great coat.
Yeah.
Put that out. And yeah.
There's no pressure like a tiger and a lion.
Yeah, they seem they're going extinct. People are like, but leopards, I feel like they just kind of like you can be whatever you want to be. You just hang out in trees. I just want to hang out in trees. I love climbing trees.
I feel like of the feline world, like tigers are like actors or models. They're the ones that like everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
And then like lions are like the politicians. Like they're like they're the kings and queens of mainly kings.
Cheetahs are athletes.
Yeah,
Yes,
cheetahs are athletes, but like
absolutely.
leopards, pumas, and like panthers. That's like the comedians, musicians.
Yeah.
Like there's not too much pressure. We're
Yeah.
still cool as shit when you see us live.
Yeah.
But like,
I also always loved I think it was a panther, the Bagheera in Jungle Book. I think Bagheera is like the best name. I actually think
absolutely.
Bagheera is the name, like is it the African name? It's something most of the stuff in Lion King and in Jungle Book is like just some other language's name for that animal.
Yeah.
So I forget what Bagheera. I'm assuming that's what Bagheera is, but I'm just
Panther,
like Bagheera.
It's a
I'm
great
like, can I
name.
name a son Bagheera? Like that's just
Yes.
such a badass.
that you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagheera.
Yeah.
I also
What were
always
you
love the
named
name
after, Jungle Book?
Sarabi. Sarabi in The Lion King is such a great name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is Sarabi?
The mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. Have either of you seen the new Lion King?
No.
There's no way. All the live action stuff looks creepy, weird, and slapped together just as a money grab, and I'm angry about it.
Yeah, it's totally a money grab.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you
what-
already made 2 other shitty Lion Kings. You already got your money
Yes.
grab. Like, I'm
made a
happy for
fucking whole
fucking
Broadway
John
show.
Oliver and Beyonce, but
Yes.
like, fucking stop ruining my childhood.
Yeah.
Wait, who did John Oliver play?
Zazu.
Zazu. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, wait. there was 2 other Lion Kings. There was a lot like
They were like prequels, but they were like straight to VHS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda.
I
Not
liked
prequels,
The Lion King
sequels.
2, or was it 1.5? There was one that I got as a kid that I was like, this is still good. Kiara, the one with Kiara. I liked a starring baby girl lion.
Yeah.
I was into it.
Which is great.
I
don't
mean,
think I watched it.
I think the thing with remaking, like, I wish Hollywood would take this approach. Like, stop remaking shit that crushed.
Yeah.
Let
Yes.
it be.
Although I will say, Jumanji, the new, it came
Jumanji?
out. It was awesome.
Oh,
the
with
one with
Jack
Rock
Black?
and
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was
I haven't
actually
seen it.
really, really good. I think they did such a good job of like, let's say like upcycling it, where they didn't try to like just remake it as is. They kind of made it into a video game and they
Right.
took it to the next
Oh,
level.
that's
and
cool.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
And actually, Jack Black was amazing, and I thought The Rock was
I do.
amazing. in
You
it.
know what's funny is I've seen that one because I watched it on a plane. I've never seen the original.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen the original
The
Jumanji.
original was so good and scared me so much as a kid that I had this weird relationship with it where I was like, I want to watch it, but it's going to give me lots of nightmares.
Yeah.
But it's so good that I can't
yeah.
not.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, did?
Yeah.
Is that why you can't go to sleep near board games? I don't know.
Yes. That's my big fear
Yeah.
of board games comes from.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I do love the idea that right before you go to bed, you lock all your board games, and people are like, I don't know. I guess she got molested by a board game. I don't really.
Don't
know.
even bring up Boggle
Yeah,
if she's
no.
getting in
Dude,
bed
she
already.
starts to cry when you take out sorry, and I
Yep.
just feel like something.
Taboo.
And, you,
Name's
and then you
taboo
can't
for a
apologize
reason.
because
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Wait, yeah. Actually, Jack Black played a teenage girl in the new Jumanji.
Did such a good
And it
job.
was a
though.
really good-
Like,
yeah.
there's literally a part where he's like, Melissa, come here, look at my penis. And it's like one of my favorite things to quote with my siblings.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God,
is.
I love it. All right, I'm watching it.
It
You
is.
sold me.
It's good.
But-
I honestly think they did a really good job. And I would say that they upcycled it. They took what it was,
Yeah.
and then they took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to recreate it as much as they took the core of it and took it to a almost
It's
updated
rare
it.
when that works really well, but sometimes.
But you
yeah.
have to. I think it has to be good writing. You can't
Yeah.
just slap it together. And it feels like Lion King was slapped together. I didn't even see it, but I heard it was trash.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
seeing
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen
Disney,
it
you
either,
have
but I
enough
mean,
money.
Yeah.
but when Disney spends so much money telling you who's in it,
it. Yeah.
as is like that's why you should see it.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
you need to hear Donald Glover like do the Simba, and it's like, do I though?
But
I
it's
mean,
like- it's the same
Donald
like-
Glover already does so many other great things. Why do we need? Or Beyonce, same thing. Like, why do we need to hear them recite lines we already know?
But the reason they have those people is to get the parents to go.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not
true.
for the kids. The kids truly don't care
Yeah, it's like,
about
wow.
John Oliver being a
Yeah, they're getting-
pigeon or whatever he is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I believe
toucan.
Zazu was a toucan.
Toucan,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, in the Lion King version I saw.
Yeah.
That-
So I feel like I also feel like when it is like star-studded, you're like, well, you've spent now so much money
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
just the cast.
You know what's really funny is like me and my 3 siblings of like the big 4 early 90s big 4
Yeah.
Disney films, we all have like we all aligned with one and like argue have not so much anymore, but have had like long like hour-long arguments about which one is better. Like my older sister she's younger, but she's older because she's got her life together.
It took me a second to be like,
Yeah.
what?
She's
She's-
younger, but she has 2 small children.
and a house and
So
yeah.
the most mature.
The most
Yes.
mature and a master's degree, all the things.
Yeah.
She's all about Beauty and the Beast. My brother is all about Lion King. My other sister's all about Aladdin, and I'm a little like a diehard Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah, of those like 4 that came out.
Can I name mine?
Go.
Emperor's New Groove.
So good. Yes.
It
What's
is-
yours?
And it stands up, by the way. I rewatched it with my
Yes,
niece and
it does
nephew,
stand up.
who did not appreciate it. They're also super.
Kronk is my favorite.
Oh my God, Kronk is the best.
Yes.
Who plays
David-
Krunk? David Spade?
No. David Spade plays the llama king,
Yes.
and he's a douche in it, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
then John Goodman plays the good guy, main dude. And then it was the guy from Seinfeld that dated Elaine.
Oh yeah.
The dumb guy that Elaine dates in Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, he also plays Patrick. Is it Patrick Warburton or the guy who plays the Tick? We should know
don't
this, but
know.
he's
Hold
he's
on.
got that voice. He's got that deeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he always plays like a dumb guy, and that's what
Yeah.
he is. He plays a dumb muscle guy that is like there's an
So great.
evil queen or whatever, and he plays
Yzma.
the assistant. But he is amazing. The comedy in it is so well done.
The Emperor's New Groove.
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I recommend honestly, when it comes to kids films, I recommend Emperor's New Groove,
Yes.
and then weirdly enough, Box Trolls. I
I've
think it
never
came out
seen
like
it.
8 years ago. It's claymation. It's the same people that did like Coraline and,
Oh, yeah.
and all those and Paranorman. But it's claymation. It was based on a book. It's just good. It's just like it's about a kid that kind of like got lost or captured, and they have all these box trolls that live underground, and people are trying to like get rid of the box trolls, but this kid grew up thinking he was a box troll, but he is a human, and then he's the one that tries to let them know that this guy, it's truly very political, but it's trying to let them know that this guy's doing all this propaganda that box trolls are evil, but they're actually not evil, and I didn't escape. I mean, I didn't get stolen. I was actually like rescued or something or whatever. But that one's a really good. I gave the box trolls to like my best friend from elementary school, and she has 2 little kids. I go, this is for you, and if your children would like to borrow it, they can.
That sounds like that name sounds like I remember when I came out. It sounds like a very derogatory word for a lesbian. That's what it sounds like. Like Jesus.
And that is what it's actually about. But
Box trolls, huh? Like, come on.
That's Liz Mueller's recommendations of children's movies for adults. Yes.
What's yours, Caitlin? What's your Disney? What's your Disney movies?
I don't know that I have one selection, but Emperor's New Groove was a movie that I used to watch almost every Friday with my best friend in high school. We would bake brownies after her ice skating lesson, and then we'd watch Emperor's New Groove because I was cool in high school.
I would have been right there with you.
Yes.
That sounds like a great weekend.
Such a great movie.
Yeah.
I'll name some older movies that I love, which, of course, Up is a classic.
Up is great.
But that's
Up.
is that a Pixar or is that
Yes.
a Disney Pixar?
Pixar.
Yeah, but they're kind of like they bought them.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
Classic.
Which one?
Toy Story.
Oh, Toy Story.
And
Originals.
Inside Out is a great new one that Pixar.
You know
Okay.
what's weird about it? I liked Inside Out, but it didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
Like there were parts of it that I was like, oh, that's really good, or
Okay.
that's really smart, but it didn't like. I wasn't like.
All right.
I think
I'm
I was
with you on-
teaching when it came out, and so
Yeah.
I was like, this is a really, really beautiful story that's a great teaching tool.
Yeah, it is. It's a great teaching tool, and it's really well done, and it's really smart and very and like as somebody that's been in therapy too long and has all the problems, I was like, oh, that's what I do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well,
also,
Right.
classic, probably my favorite from my teenagers, Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah, Finding Nemo is good. If we're gonna get controversial though, I gotta say this, and people generally just do not react to this well. I think Up is unbelievably overrated. Like,
Really?
I think the first 20 minutes are fantastic. I think the whole thing with the wife, and it's so sad, and it's a tearjerker, and I think the rest of the movie is pure garbage.
You didn't like the relationship between the boy and the old man?
The boy, it felt very just like okay. It felt to me like the movie Little Miss Sunshine. I know now we're making a jump to live action.
I could see that.
Those are both very by numbers good. Like that was the thing when Little Miss Sunshine came
one of
out.
my
People were
favorites.
like, I know, and people were like, it's the greatest movie you'll ever see. And I can acknowledge it is a very fucking good movie, but I feel like there's a formula to it. And to me,
Little Miss Sunshine?
In Little Miss Sunshine, where it's just like I don't hate it.
But Doug.
I get it. It's a good movie, but like the thing with the dogs just felt fake to me, and it didn't make me laugh. And like, I couldn't suspend my reality enough, even though I'm watching a cartoon that balloons would lift a house. It was just too like, I can't.
That's the stupidest reason.
I couldn't do it. I'm
I stand
sorry.
by that.
No,
Yeah.
I think there's a level of like suspension of reality where like you have to really make me believe it, and then I'll believe you. But to me, it was like it's just not enough
like
balloons.
hot air balloons.
Yeah.
Lift.
Yeah,
It's an animated
but a hot air
movie.
balloon still could not lift a house out of its plumbing off of its.
I just thought of another one.
What?
Monsters, Inc.
Monsters
Monsters,
Inc.
Inc. is very good.
One of
So
the best.
good.
I would say.
But I
Yeah.
will acknowledge that opening sequence with the wife is like one of the most beautifully done things animation-wise. It was like devastating. And then the rest of the movie, I was like, I think they're like for me, the movie that does for me what Up seemed to do for everyone else is Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
To me, that was like, holy shit. Like, that dealt with, like, real... Like, I didn't realize I had abandonment issues until that movie. And I was like, oh, my God, I've always feared this my whole life.
Yeah.
People
That
I
was
love
a great movie.
moving on without me.
I have
like,
a very distinct memory of watching that movie.
Yeah.
The winter break, right before I was about to graduate college with my dad. We made omelets together,
Yeah.
and we sat down to watch it.
Your memories
and-
are so vivid.
Yeah. And then I started crying at the end, as you do. My dad is a very, like, Dad, unemotional, like kind of uncomfortable with large displays of emotion kind of person. Then he looks at me, and he looks away, and he looks back at me, and he goes, you want to go taste a bunch of whiskeys around the house? And that's when I found out that he hides tiny little airplane bottles of whiskey so that when he's working on like the sink or fixing things, he can just like taste a whiskey. And so we just did that. And
Take a little nip.
that's my memory that I can't disassociate from Toy Story 3 now.
That's beautiful.
That's why when you go to Caitlin's parents' house and someone's like, "Oh, I think the toilet's running," he's like, let me go check the plumbing under the house.
Yeah. I'm a good person.
Yeah, and then
I'm
comes
saving this family. I also
And
can't
Miss
drive
McAllen
today.
Yeah.
And
Let me go
this
check the
McAllen
plumbing.
18 under the sink
Yeah.
that I've hidden.
We all know when I do stuff around the house,
Yeah.
I no longer drive the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm tired from all the work I just did under the house. Yeah, Dad, you were under there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Belch.
Yeah.
Don't call me Dad, call me Timbo.
I will say about the first 10 minutes of Up
Yeah.
is Michael Giacchino, who did all the music for
Yeah.
that. I got to meet him really early on, but he's such a cool person if you look over his body of work, because he also did Lost, and he used a bunch of the plane parts from like the plane in the first episode, and like has like drummers drumming on the plane bits, and like he just uses like bits and
really?
pieces of like whatever the set is itself.
I will watch Up again. I've only seen it once.
Yeah,
but
I think we have to.
I was very just.
opinion was
I think we have to,
uninformed
or this
I was
is
watching
over.
the rest of it like that, like with a grumpy face, where I was like, I don't like this dogs. I think this is dumb.
What?
I just didn't think it was funny. It just didn't make sense. Why would dogs think?
Well,
Why would
you
dogs
don't make
think in
sense.
English anyway? So
All right.
there's there's only so much. It's just, I love how these movies just get us.
Yeah.
Because I've also had this reaction when people are like, I don't know, Toy Story 3. I mean, what's the big deal? He leaves them behind.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
I'm
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
Must be nice that you had a great childhood.
Yeah. You didn't have to say goodbye to these inanimate objects who were your friends.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to say goodbye to mine.
Yes.
Wait, so speaking of goodbyes,
Yes.
That's a weird segue. Liz, would you mind telling us a story in 5 words?
And I can say whatever 5 words I
Whatever 5 words you choose.
want. All right.
And take your time. It's
Vomit.
yes. I'm gonna write these down too.
Yeah, please. Take this seriously.
Yeah.
Weed.
Hell yeah.
England. Is Uber a word?
Yep.
Yes.
It is today.
Also, it is a word.
Review.
Review.
Those are my words.
These okay. This is good.
Yeah.
This is exactly what this is all about. Vomit, weed,
I love how big it is on
vomit,
your phone.
weed, England, Uber review.
Yeah.
That is a classic Liz Miele tale.
Yeah.
if I ever thought of one,
Yes.
if I ever knew one. Do you want to start it off, or should I?
Let's start it off. I'll do it.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to say that this story starts on a day where you wake up and you realize you have food poisoning, because you wake up and immediately you need to vomit, which is a weird way to wake up and not very pleasant. But you have a show that night, so you're like, okay, let's get all of this out of me because I have to get on stage and perform.
Now everyone knows. Maybe you don't know this, but when you're vomiting, you're actually expelling a lot of nutrients as well as like whatever. Vomit's not good for your body.
Yeah.
People do it because it makes you feel better in the moment, or when you're sick, you feel a little better. But truthfully, you're vomiting. There's a lot of nutrients coming out, and one of the nutrients is vitamin D, which helps you with thought, right? So in the minutes after you're done vomiting, your thought process is not the most trustworthy. Let's just say that. Just so side note, legends listening to this, remember that next time you puke, take a few minutes before you make any decisions immediately after. Right? But after vomiting on this morning, you were like, oh God, I got a show tonight. You know what? I want to feel better. I need to fucking toke some bud.
Yeah.
I need to take some
Well, it
bong
also
rips.
settles your stomach.
Weed also
so.
settles your stomach. I need to get real fucking rip roaring high. But if you know Liz, as we met years ago, Liz is not so much a smoker as she is an eater of weed. So she was like, "Oh, good, I got those brownies."
Yeah.
So you housed, and plus you just vomited, so your stomach was empty. So you housed a bunch of weed brownies.
Yeah. And that kind of staved it off for a while.
Right.
And by the way, I didn't mention that the story happens in England.
Where it's hard to get weed brownies in the first place.
It's very hard to get weed brownies. So you start to feel it kick in.
Yeah.
As you're like getting ready to go to the venue, and then you start to feel it kick in too much because you housed
too many
weed brownies.
Housed is at least 3 to 4.
Yeah.
That's what that means when you house something.
Yeah.
You house some cheeseburgers, 3 to 4. So 3 or
Very
4 weed
true.
brownies. If you are a weed brownie connoisseur, as
Yes.
Caitlin is, too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
So you're getting ready to go to the venue, and you call in.
Uber.
Yes.
Right? Which in London, right? In England, they call an Uber.
Yeah.
Right? Is that Uber?
They don't have Lyft there either.
Uber.
So it had to be an Uber.
Right? So you get into this Uber, this guy, and immediately, like the British do, British are like cats, right? They can sense things in other people, but they don't know how to communicate it
Yes.
at all, right? So
very
this
much
British
like cats.
Uber driver immediately senses something's wrong with this passenger.
Yeah.
Right? And so like typical British, they make statements in the form of questions, right? So he goes, "All right then, are you?" And you being high are just like, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. What? I don't. Did you ask me if I'm all right, or did you tell me I was all right? And he's like, having a strange day, are we? And you're like, I don't. Are you telling me, or are you asking me? And you're
Are
like,
you having a strange
a bit
day?
high,
Yeah.
a bit high, yes. And you're like, I can't. You're not asking or a question or making a statement, sir. I'm really confused, right? You know what? You better fucking tell me exactly what you're saying, or I will give you a bad review.
Yes.
Right? And that, of course, made him shut up and just drive you to the venue. But then the weed guilt kicked in during the ride, and you realized, I hate it when reviewers give me bad reviews for my comedy shows.
Yes.
So I'm not going to give this guy a bad review. That's unfair of me. I'm the one who's high, and you know what? I need to be the better person here. So as you're getting out, you go, hey, man, by the way, 5 stars to you, which made that guy's day.
Yes.
Made his day. And I don't know if you know this, but we found this out doing our research on this story, is that guy was so happy when he got that 5-star review that he realized, hey, you know what? Anything's possible. I thought when I picked this passenger up that I was going to get a 3-star review, my rating was going to go down, I wasn't going to be able to drive Uber anymore, and I was going to have to move back home to Shaftesbury. Instead, he got that 5-star review, realized, you know what? I've always wanted to be a judge on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And now he is.
Now he's Simon Cowell. Is
Yeah,
that the right TV
this-
show?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this was when Simon Cowell was between gigs.
Yes.
So, in essence, this is a story about the time you woke up with food poisoning in England, ate a bunch of weed brownies to feel better, realized you had a show, had a weird Uber ride where you threatened to give him a bad review, but realized, no, I'm going to give him a good review, and you ended up making that person's career, who ended up being Simon Cowell
Yeah.
as he was between gigs.
Bam.
Is that the truth?
We nail it.
It's crazy how good it is. It's crazy how close it is.
What's the real story?
Did we get any of it right?
Real story is sad. Now that I think
fine.
about it. This is probably 5 or 6 years. I would say 5 years ago. I was in London. I was doing like a whole kind of European tour, and I had a lot of friends in London. And earlier that day, I was hanging out with a guy that used to be a waiter at a comedy club in Connecticut, and him and his wife had moved to London, so I hadn't seen him in years. We weren't even that close. He was a waiter that I saw once a year for
Yeah.
The
years.
Funny Bone in Hartford?
No, the one that just shut down.
In Connecticut?
Brouhaha, City Steam.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go over to his place. We get lunch, hang out, or whatever. And he goes, "Do you want to smoke?" And I go, "No, I have a show later, so I don't want to get high." And he goes, "Well, here, take a spliff or whatever for later." So I didn't, I used to smoke a lot of pot, but I really don't. But I just kind of carried it with me. But I was going to be leaving for Amsterdam the next day.
Oh, no.
Right.
So I was either going to give it to my friend Sam, or I was going to smoke it with my friends later. So fast forward, I'm hanging out with, you remember Maria Shahada?
I do.
Yeah.
So Maria,
Yeah.
at this point, I think we were both touring there. She wasn't even living there yet. So Maria was in town. I was hanging out with my friend Sam that lives there. We had a bunch of drinks, and then we're sitting by like the water, and it's just really nice. And I go, "Oh, I have this weed, spliff or whatever. Do you guys want to smoke it?" So Maria takes one puff. Me and Sam split the rest of it. And I don't smoke that much. I will say this: to this day, I believe that it was laced
Oh my God.
with something that was heroin-like.
Really?
I don't know what this is, but I have never, and I was a huge pothead and I experimented a lot in high school. I do not know what was in my body. Also, my friend was a pothead. We were on the sidewalk vomiting endlessly. And he's like a big dude, so and my friend only had a hit, so she's fine.
Yeah.
She had to take care of us, but I was like, the world was circling. I was nonstop vomiting.
It was so bizarre.
It was like, and I was strung out. Like, you know when you see somebody on like a bench and they're like, I was I've never been strung out before. Damn. I don't know what I did, but it was laced with something to the point where like, so I was a mess, and I had to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Jesus.
And this all happened at 6 p.m., by the way. It feels like it's 1 in the morning. It's 8 o'clock. And she puts him in a cab. Yeah. He goes home. We're sharing an Airbnb. She puts me in an Airbnb or puts me in an Uber, and it's her Uber. And this is before I think I used to take Uber, so it's her account.
Right.
And I'm nonstop vomiting. So I'm out the Uber ride like a dog.
Oh my God.
Vomiting out the window, and the guy keeps going, "Is she all right?" And she's like, "She's fine. She just had a party." So I'm vomiting out the window, all the vomits on the side, and the guy gets out of the car and he goes, "You have to clean this up. Like, you can't." But I barely can stand. Yeah. So now, like, Marie's been my best friend of like 15 years. Now my friend Marie is cleaning up my vomit while I'm just like sitting on the side of the road, not even a human. And then I had to pack. So I go to bed, and then I told her, I was like, "You got to wake me up because I have to go to Amsterdam." So she wakes me up early. She wakes me up at like 3 in the morning. I'm in bed at 8 o'clock p.m., but like a mess. Yeah. So she wakes me up at 3 in the morning. I pack, but I can't stop vomiting. Like, I'm still vomiting. My God. So I'm vomiting in a bucket in an Airbnb while packing. Just a mess. Not sure I'm going to do this. And like the way London works is like, and also like at this time I had no money. I bought some airline that was just like garbage, and it was like their subway. It wasn't 24 hours at that point, so I had to take I had to walk to a train to the airport. So it was like this other hour and a half journey.
And were you going to Heathrow or were you going to...
I don't even know, some Stansted or some London airport that like nobody would go to. Now I know, traveling. But I didn't know. I was just like, oh, it's, cheap, and I'm going to Amsterdam. So anyway, I get to the airport, and this is, again, I bought a super cheap airline, again, didn't understand, and I hadn't, like, checked in 24 hours before. Oh, yeah. So they gave away my seat. Oh, so I go to check in. They gave away my seat. I'm like super sick, vomiting. Yeah. I've already been on a train for an hour and a half. This has been one of the worst days of my life. And the guy tries to tell me I can't. And I looked at him. I go, I have to work, because I was doing 4 different cities in the Netherlands. Yeah. And it was a tour. And this was the first time, first time working with this booker. And I was like, I have to get on this flight. I was like, first of all, I'm sick. I didn't know. Nobody told me. I'll pay whatever extra money you need. I have to. He goes, you can't though. I go, I have to. He goes, we'll put you on the waiting list. I was like, I have to. And he must have done something, because I got on it, and I was vomiting on the plane. Oh, no. I vomited when I got back. When I got to the place, I had to take another train, because I was actually going to Utrecht. So then I took a half-hour train to Utrecht, and then I slept the entire day and then did a show. And of course, there was this he's now a good friend of mine. Yeah. This comic I had met once in London. And he was texting me, and he was like, "Do you want to hang out and smoke weed?"
No.
And for the entire trip, I was like, Tom, I'm never smoking weed again. I truly am never having it again. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure my friend got a bad Uber review. I don't even know if that was fully weed. And to this day, and even my friend was a mess the next day. He was like, "What the fuck was in that?" Yeah. Like, he was like, he couldn't go to work. He was like a mess. Wow. It was like it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. All my shows went great. I'm a professional.
Just had to vomit up all the bullshit.
I feel bad for anybody that talked to me for those 2 days, because I was like,
God, dude, that's insane.
It was like, it's truly like, that was 5 years ago, and it's still one of those stories where like I don't know what happened. Yeah. And I'm so glad Maria truly took care of me. Yeah. Like, and my friend Maria is smaller than I am.
Yeah, she is.
She's hot as a little girl, yeah.
So she was like dragging Sam into an Uber, who's like a tall guy, and like she's like taking care of me, and that's like, we've had our like ride or die moments, but she's like, "Remember when I saved your life?" Yeah.
we saw her in Edinburgh last month, and she does a lot of stuff at this club called the Angel, which we're friends with those people. They're great. But like that sounds like a Clickham.
A Clickham?
Cigarette or weed dipped in formaldehyde.
Is that what it sounds like?
Because
why would anyone ever do that?
Because for some people, you get silly, crazy, cuckoo high. Oh. Like like out of your mind, fucking bubbly headed, zing zang high. For some people like you and myself, the one time I ever took one hit off of
I'll have to
formaldehyde.
look that up because I was like looking up like fucking meth and heroin and stuff and be like, because all the symptoms I was like, that's what it is. Because I was strung out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like think of, especially as a woman, like the scariest thing you could do. But it was like drunk, high, and strong. Like I've never.
Did you ever reach out to the guy?
I did. I was like, what the fuck was that? He was like, it was just weed. And I was like,
dude,
I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was, dude.
You find out he's been smoking some crazy, like opium.
Yeah.
But he seems like a dude that like what I think happened is maybe it's something and he doesn't realize, but what I think is he's such a pothead, and you know how it becomes like that Half-Life situation?
Yeah.
That he just kept, it just gets stronger and stronger, but it doesn't do anything to you. But if you smoke weed once every 3 months like I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, my friend that smoked weed was not okay. So there was something else in it.
Something.
I'm going to look up that, but I'm glad I told my story so now I can find out the mystery.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the sickest I ever was in my life.
Do you remember, did you have, when either of you were in high school, you had biology, right?
Yeah.
Did you dissect anything?
No.
Frog?
Yeah, frog. You never dissected a frog?
No.
I remember, okay, so I remember.
That smell is rough.
Right.
Oof.
Like,
I remember when the fucking teacher would pop open the bucket of frogs, and he'd put on the thing, and they'd have the teacher, just the TA, roll around, or it wasn't like an official TA, just the good student, roll around the bucket and like place the frog. As the dude was doing that, you'd see kids just reach over and dip a cigarette in the bucket real quick. Because it was full of food. Yeah. Because, like, for some people, they smoke that shit and they get fucking dingling. Like, seriously.
but are we talking about the same, like huffing kind of? Like
Formaldehyde, it's like, no, that you dip it.
No, but I'm saying like
a huffing high, on top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That type of high where it's like you're truly killing brain. Because formaldehyde is like a poison.
Yeah.
So it's like when I think of huffing, it's like, it might get you high, but you're literally killing brain cells.
Yeah.
So is it like a killing
That
brain
sort of
cells
thing.
kind of like,
You dip it, you put it, and like they let it dry, and everyone would fucking skip class or like lunch, leave, and go in the parking lot. And everybody's sharing one cigarette, because if a teacher rolled up on you, you were smoking cigarettes. There wasn't like a thing they could really do shit about. And it doesn't smell that differently once it would dry.
Yeah.
At least not in my experience. But then some people would dip weed in there. And that's the one time I ever was like, it was like, oh, it's a click 'em. I was like, fuck it. And I remember
I've
I
never
took
even
like
heard the term click 'em.
click 'em. Took like 2 hits of it, and I felt not as extreme, but was definitely
I
like,
split.
I'm gonna barf, and I don't want to be standing upright anymore. I don't like this.
Yeah.
So
But
weird.
I would have been passed out on the street if Maria wasn't there. Like that's
Yeah.
and choke. Like I was like, if I choke on my vomit, like this is like a side story. So my little sister and her boyfriend, they picked me up from the airport. This is maybe like 2 years ago, and they had some kind of weed. You know, now and they're in LA, so like whatever, some kind of your edibles that you were talking about. But they had something. They had too much of it, and they both were vomiting, back and forth vomiting.
What?
So they both were like they picked me up, like she picked me up from the airport, and she was slightly better than her now husband was. But she said she was like, she's telling, and I'm gonna butcher the story because it was so fun. She basically was like, I now know what true love is because we took turns sleeping, so the other one wouldn't choke on their own vomit.
Oh my god.
yeah.
So neither
Yeah.
of them slept more than a couple of hours because
Yeah.
she would be like, babe.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean,
That's adorable in a gross
I
way.
just got married a couple of months ago, and a part of me was like, oh, that's weird how that didn't make your vows in front of mom and dad.
yeah. The time we kept each other alive. I mean, that's like a thing too. Like sometimes after shows, because I've done I've done Ari's podcast and Bert's.
Yeah.
I've had people like offer me weed, and the fact of the matter is, like, I just don't trust human beings enough. Because I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know that you don't like me.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, it would really fuck this dude up if we gave him some mescaline laced weed.
I don't
you know?
I don't do anything with people that I don't really drink anymore, but I don't do anything with people I don't know.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that was like it was like 5 years ago, and that was like that could have gone so wrong in so many ways. But I honestly, I have to kind of smoke with people I know, but also people that like know their stock, because now that like if you're LA, it's like all pure or whatever. But like we're still getting stuff where it's like, I don't know where the fuck this is from, and you're hearing more and more about like people putting weird stuff in it and I'm just like, I don't know. Drugs are scarier. And maybe because I'm in my 30s now, but like drugs are just scarier now.
I mean, weed's
well,
definitely.
now that like weed is legal in so many different states,
I would think it's better. Like it's
And
safer.
I trust it because I can go to a place and buy it, and it comes in a
And
jar with a package.
You can have a review on it.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you truly could.
Those places,
But now
yeah.
it seems bizarre to me that anyone would just buy like loose weed that's been hanging out somewhere. Like,
I know.
Loose weed, I would find it on the subway, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna party.
Dude, I mean, yeah, one time we were in Nashville, and Ari, Shafir, myself, and my brother were driving back to New Orleans from Nashville, and Ari had gotten some weed from a fan, and him and my brother...
I wouldn't even trust like regular brownies
Right.
from a
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
And they got some weed, and they were like, hey, and Ari was like, I want to smoke this. And my brother was like, I'll smoke it. And I'm like, I will not. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
I'll drive. And they smoked it, and we're both like, yeah, I'm kind of way higher than I should be. Like, they
Yeah.
were both just, like, out of their fucking minds
Yeah.
for, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, and they both passed out. And I was
Because
like,
you don't know
I don't-
anything about
And it
this
was-
thing you're
Exactly.
putting in your body.
And it was probably just super strong weed, but it was a thing of, like, my anxiety would be compounded by the fact if I was high with you guys,
And then I didn't know what was
and
in
I
it.
didn't know, and I'd be like, wait, why are we higher? And
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's why I say comedy fans out there, bring gifts,
That
but
are
make them
prepackaged.
crafty or prepackaged. Doesn't have to be food.
Yeah. Or, I mean, you remember that guy?
It's still in our cabinet.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
there's
thinking about that.
But okay, so a few months back, I was doing a show. We were doing shows in North Carolina, and Kyle Kinane hit me up and was like, hey, man, just so you know, there's a guy coming to your show tonight. He's going to bring you a homemade cocktail. He's not a weirdo.
Yeah, and it was like his name is Rambo or something.
Yeah.
Super weird.
And he brought me a homemade cocktail. We still have it. I just haven't drank it. No, I'm sorry, man. I just haven't gotten around
Does
to
it? I don't even know the shelf life of a homemade cocktail.
I don't either. But we still have it. And, like, if Kyle hadn't texted me that, I would have thrown it in the trash. I would have been
Yeah.
like, thanks, man, thanks. And then in the trash.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
not fucking with that.
Yeah.
But I still have it, mainly because I'm not that big of a boozer anymore, and I don't really like liquor. But also, it's like, I'm if this is legit, in this situation, I am flattered that you
Yeah.
homemade me a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'm flattered when anybody makes me anything, but
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
my mom's almost killed me with cooking. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and she loves us. Like,
yeah.
Totally.
And I mean, I love weed, but I can't smoke it that often.
I can't do it anymore. I used to love it, and I just have
Did
panic.
you never smoke again after that incident?
It was a long time.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. It was a really long time, and I was already starting to have consistent panic attacks on weed. Like it went from being the thing that stopped me from having anxiety and I
Yeah.
could relax to the thing that made my anxiety 10 times worse.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
started having these crazy panic attacks.
That'll happen.
And so then I got to the point where I can't do this anymore. My hard no is I won't do any edibles ever again.
Yeah.
And I had that hard no for a while. I ate something with Tom Cotter in Pakistan. That's a story for another time. It was
Side note, for those of you listening, Tom Cotter is the most like American,
straight edge
American stand-up comedian you'll
Yeah.
ever meet. Like he could, if there was a all comedian version of the Avengers, he could be
Yeah.
old, like
America.
Captain America.
Yeah. And he gave it to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just have a little bit of it." And it was, I can't even tell you. I was like, so now it's a never.
Wait, you ate
again.
edibles in Pakistan?
It was one of the dumbest things I've ever done.
Jesus
I
Christ!
thought I was having trouble sleeping, and they all kept being like, "Oh, I can't sleep without it." I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that might be helpful." And it was like, I was up at 6 a.m. when they were like having like religious
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
things, and I
yeah.
was like, I'm gonna die here.
And it's not that like I have anything against Pakistan. It's just the idea of being in a country that I still think Pakistan has intensely harsh drug laws, right?
Oh, I didn't bring it.
I know, but I'm just
yeah.
saying they do though, right?
Oh,
Or am I
yeah.
wrong? Like that's the kind of shit that freaks me out. Where it's like it's not that I have anything against people who do this. I just don't want to have my hands cut off.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever they do to people who.
I don't know.
But
what
I'll
their drug
never,
laws
I'll
are.
never do edibles ever again. Hard rule.
Yeah.
And then even now when I smoke, it's 2 puffs, see how I feel an hour
Yeah.
later, and then maybe I'll have more. The only time I broke that is my friends just got married upstate, and my friends, I was like, what am I going to pass out with some chickens? I'll be fine. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
was like, when it's truly like all my friends from the last 20 years, I'm like, yeah, I was like, nothing bad can happen.
Yeah.
That one, Caitlin, has a ironclad tolerance to marijuana. I'm
What does that mean?
jealous.
True.
It is So true. I have seen her.
To smoking it, yeah.
No, I have also seen you rip down an obscene amount of edibles, not realizing how potent they were, and be okay like 4 hours later.
I'm not okay on like a quarter of one.
Yeah.
I've had rolling panic attacks.
I don't.
Rolling.
Yeah.
I definitely get panic attacks and paranoia depending on the kind of weed or how many edibles I've had. So I don't really do that much edibles anymore.
I've seen her smoke entire blunts by herself. Blunts.
Yeah.
And be like we bought a whole thing of pre-rolled blunts. One like last year, we got pre-rolled and they were nice. And
Are blunts the one with marijuana?
Tobacco.
Or with tobacco?
Tobacco.
No,
I
that
thought
one
it
didn't have
split.
tobacco in it.
No,
that is a split.
No, I'm saying a blunt. Yeah, you were smoking. It was
Is
marijuana.
okay, hold on.
With a cigar wrapper.
Yeah. A joint is just like anything wrapped, right?
It's
and then a
weed.
blunt is just weed.
For someone,
and spliffs are
for someone who
tobacco
has
and
your
weed.
tolerance
I should
to
know
weed,
this.
is such an insult.
For someone that grew up in California
Yeah.
when weed was like medically illegal, I should know.
You
these
remember
things.
I bought that 5-pack
But hey,
of
maybe
blunts.
I've just been smoking so much weed that I don't remember.
There you go.
anymore. What?
I bought that 5-pack of blunts. It was like last year.
Yeah, I remember.
And I came home.
Those were great.
Yeah, I came home and exactly.
I wish that we could see your smile.
Yeah.
You
I
all of a
liked
sudden
that.
remember, and you're like,
Yeah.
that was a good time.
Like I came
We had
home.
fun.
Yeah, I came home one night and she was just like a fucking mafia don, just puffing down a blunt by herself, like watching 30 Rock or something. Like, hey,
Well,
I'm
like writing a dissertation,
yeah.
like truly, like.
Yeah.
That
And I was
does
like,
seem like
I had
that
friends as I would go,
is
I get a lot
amazing.
done, and I was like, that is not why I smoke
I actually do
weed.
get a lot done when
That's
I smoke
crazy
weed.
to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
That's
I
why we
like
do
it
Adderall.
because
Yeah, that's what I'm jealous of.
if it's the right kind of weed, it will shut down all of my I need to get shit done voice in my head that actually prevents me from getting shit done. Where I'm just trying to
The perfectionist
yeah,
or the-
yeah, and it
Yeah.
just lets me write a song or work on some art where I'm like, ooh, the pretty colors or this
Yeah.
sounds amazing. So
That's where Pixar came from.
yeah. I
People getting
am
high enough
Pixar.
and being like, you know what?
Yes.
What if the house did float if there were enough balloons?
What's so funny is I think what I kind of have a joke about it now, but what I wanted from weed, I found with Xanax. Because
There
like
you
I've only done it twice, and it's highly addictive. So it's really I'm in a panic attack and I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And fuck it, I'll just take it. My mom gave me a shit ton of Xanax, and so now.
But are they
only
like
for
dog
cats and
Xanax?
dogs?
Yeah, but they are. It's,
Yeah?
Truly, that's what it is. And
That's
so my
so
mom will
funny.
be like, just break it apart.
Yeah.
You know, these Great Danes are big. But I did it twice during panic attacks, and I was like, oh, is this how everybody else is living?
Yeah.
This is lovely. This is a lovely place. I literally was like, I just want it to stop. I just want my brain to stop attacking itself.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I don't want to be addicted to it. So I really just but I can't tell you how many times that I was like, I could get so much done. Like I
Yeah.
used to take Adderall to get stuff done, but I don't I don't have ADD. I don't have a problem focusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a problem attacking myself.
Yeah.
And
You know-
all the fears inside me at all times.
Dude,
Yes.
I used to be prescribed a Xanax. Here's the problem with it. I mean, this was 20 years
and
ago.
this is also a half, you can't take it too much.
Right,
it's
right.
truly very addictive, and
I had
anything stops
I had
working.
the little peach ones, which were like half the 0.5 dose. The problem with it is you're right. You're like, yeah, I can get a lot of stuff done. The only problem with it is the stuff you get done, you have for me anyway, it was I had no concern over the quality of it.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, that's fine. Why do I worry about it?
Yeah.
And that becomes the problem now
You
is what
just
I
don't
worry about
care
is you'd be
enough.
like, now I can finally write jokes. And I would write a joke and be like, I don't care if this is even funny or not. It's what it is. I'm just living, man. And that's the one you realize the balance where you're like,
Yeah.
anxiety fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate having obsessive compulsive disorder, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's the reason some of the shit I write is good.
Yeah.
No,
and it's
I
like,
actually-
ooh, the balance. You
I
know?
fought my OCD. I
Yeah.
really was I don't have it, especially because I knew people that had it worse. But I was like, oh, it is 100% the reason
Yeah.
that I overthink and meticulously make sure something that's okay.
Yeah.
It's I've get in loops that I can't get out of, and it makes me really upset. But it's also the reason that this is some of my best work at the same time. Does that make sense?
Totally. 100% sense.
So it's there's pros and cons to it. There are days where I'm I've gotten less done because of my OCD.
Oh,
and then
sure.
there's days where I'm the quality of this is so much better because of the meticulousness of being trapped in this thought.
Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, your disorders, specifically OCD, it's like a cat. Sometimes it's going to scratch at you and hide.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to lay on your lap and purr and do that
While
thing
you
where
pee,
it's just like,
and it's just really nice to have
Yeah.
something warm in your lap.
but you know
Sometimes
what?
it's going to sit on a Roomba and just float around the room.
Yeah, it's balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be willing to live with it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a nice wrap up.
Yeah, it really was.
It
Wait,
was-
are we
We're
we
good.
wrap up time? Oh yeah, perfect. Wait, Liz.
It's beautiful. What
Well-
you guys have done is
Well,
beautiful.
no. What we
You're
have done,
beautiful.
all
Oh,
of
thank
us.
you.
Yeah, you're part of this episode as well, Liz. I don't know if you realize that. Your mic has been on this whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Can we erase everything?
Where people can find you? Where?
When is this coming out?
What?
A month.
A month?
I'm
Yeah, so if you want-
recording my first comedy special November 14th at Subculture.
Awesome.
Please buy tickets. I need to sell out 2 shows.
Awesome. Wait, at Subculture on Bleecker?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
that's a
release-
fucking dope ass venue.
Yeah, I'm really
I'll
excited
release
about
this episode right
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll do it right
November
before. We'll do it like a couple weeks
15th
before.
or 14th.
it. 14th.
Yeah, we'll make
14th.
sure to put it out before that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So November 14th, recording my first special, and
At Subculture?
at Subculture. Yeah.
That place. Have you ever been Subculture on Bleecker?
I don't think so.
UCB East has moved there, so all the weekend shows
Oh,
are
cool.
Oh wait,
there.
really? I didn't know that at
Yeah,
all.
so most of the shows you did at UCB East are now at Subculture.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
I know the Stand before it reopened. That was one of their
Oh, I didn't know that.
occasional weekend venues for a while.
Oh, nice.
Subculture.
When
I
they had
also
pop-ups.
filmed a game show pilot there once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it's like
It's really beautiful.
It's
cool.
a great place to shoot a special.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
really
one of
excited.
those
Yeah.
places that I say I haven't been, and then I'll go there and be like, oh, I've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did something for like Audible there. Like
Nice.
I've done a couple of different things.
So November 14th. What? Like a
7 and 9.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
First special, Liz Miele. Go see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
seriously, I have known you since I've moved here, and you have always been like, there's no other way to say this. There's people in the past, especially in the past 12 years, people who like are comedians and people who just used comedy to get somewhere else,
Yeah.
and people are just
And
gone.
I've never gone anywhere.
I mean, but like, no, you're a comedian. You're like you're a true comedian. You're across the board, like a true comedian, and people should see you. And I hope this special does great things, but I hope people come and see it too.
Thank you.
So
I
that's
appreciate it.
fucking
Thank you,
awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
But also, you know what?
Don't bring me
Socials.
weed.
Don't bring her weed.
Yes, don't bring her weed.
Everything's at Liz Miele, so
Right.
LIZMIELE.
Miele. Do not bring her any edibles.
Yeah. I love pictures of cats. People show me pictures of their cats all the time.
Do that.
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
pictures of cats,
Yeah.
crafty things, and prepackaged food.
Yeah.
Prepackaged.
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. I like brownies that don't get you high.
There you go. That
What's,
actually.
what's wrong with pure
Just brownies.
chocolate
Virgin
brownies? Virgin brownies.
Yes.
I want to get high off the sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep from the crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go see Liz. Go see her show,
Yes.
her special taping.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Laters.
Bye.
Thank you.
Blunts are weed, rolled with tobacco paper. Joints are weed, rolled with a lighter paper.